I guess we should. I'm going to be on TV again. I promise you, I will look no differently than the last time you saw me. Reason being is that it was shot at the same time, but it's new to you folks. The Dark Side of the Ring on Vice TV this coming Tuesday. What is the number to go along with that day? It's
That
the
day?
19th,
That
March
Tuesday?
19th.
That's right.
March 19th on Vice TV will be Terry Gordy, the fabulous Freebird Terry Gordy, and I will be one of the people involved in spend. And I hope I've seen a couple of the pictures they've got, obviously from Terry's family and everything, just when he was so young with his hair bleached blonde, already in the business. So I'm hoping that they have some cool stuff that we haven't seen before of Terry at his younger career. But also, I'll look the same age because I haven't aged, at least in this footage.
Did they already do a reenactment? Because I'm thinking about it. I was like, you wonder if they're going to do one. And then I'm thinking, I think they may have done it in one of the other episodes where Terry Gordy beat up the police car, started headbutting the car. Am I wrong?
I don't. I remember some abuse of vehicles, but I'm not sure exactly what.
Wasn't there a story he got like arrested? He was drunk, but they couldn't really. He was gigantic. They couldn't do much. He just started headbutting the police car.
Well, but Barbarian did that too.
Really?
Well, and when they were making with Piper,
Body Slam.
Body Slam.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That was a story. I love Barbarian. I'm not trying to embarrass him, and he loves me too. I hope. But no, when he had flown out there, he's in California, and he's appearing in. Even though he's working for Crockett at that time, right? So he's living in Charlotte, but he was one of the wrestlers that got a spot to appear. And it's been so long since I've seen Body Slam, I can't remember the premise, but that was the movie they were shooting.
Yeah,
right?
the premise is that M. Harry Smilak goes from being a scummy music manager to getting into the sleazy world of wrestling, and he manages Quick Rick Roberts, Roddy Piper, and his friend Tonga Tom, who Roddy Piper just feuded with a year and a half earlier, the Tonga Kid, and they feud with the very cleverly named Captain Lou Morano.
Oh my God.
And his team of the Barbarian and Tijo Khan, or as they're called in the movie, the Cannibals, Axe and Hammer.
Okay, and Tijo was in Charlotte for us. And
who hosts the biggest wrestling talk show in the country? Do you remember that? Apparently like TNT, I guess, for this movie.
No.
Charles Nelson Riley.
Oh my God, no. Okay. All right. I gotta see this thing again. Because it's been 40 years, and I don't know I paid attention at that point.
And then the big fight scene at the end, the big cameos out of nowhere for Bruno and Flair and Freddie Blassie, and then a brawl breaks out with all the California indie guys in the second row pretending they were just watching the match.
Did you just watch this last week?
I love this movie. It's the best wrestling movie. There's some stuff that you cringe at in 2024, but there's so much. And in terms of the cameos, it's a great movie. It's the best wrestling movie.
Well, all right, very good. Thank you for everybody that's going to send me a copy of this now on VHS or DVD or whatever. I can watch anything except the newfangled stuff that you got to stick in the side of the computer. Anyway, so Barb is out there is where he is. He's out in California. And since he was away from home for a number of days and he was away from his wife, Saney, and he was at the story goes, and give or take a slight exaggeration or two, this is approximately how it happened, is that he was at the bar in the hotel and because he didn't drink at home because Saney didn't like him to drink. But as he was in the bar and he's all the way in California and he's probably catching up with, other people he hadn't seen in a while because this wasn't like a all Vince production as you've just illustrated. It was kind of a free for all with people, from all over the place. And when they want to close the bar, he don't want them to close the bar. And when they want him to leave, he doesn't want to leave. And he doesn't want to get the shit for free, but he wants to continue paying for his drinks as long as he wants to be there to drink them and pay for them. And so they called some authorities who arrived who were equally unsuccessful in convincing him to the point where that a scuffle broke out, which saw that they figured out that you can't handcuff the Barbarian because his arms won't even go that far behind his back. And you can't mace him because he will fucking lick it off. He'll slap his fucking face with the palm of his hand and lick it to show dominance. And if several officers do indeed get 2 sets of handcuffs joined behind the Barbarian's back, he will either cave the top of or break a window out of a police car if you get him in the back seat, finally, with his head. And then when they took him to jail or wherever they take you to sew you up before they take you to jail, they sewed him up, and then when they put him in the cell, he started headbutting the wall and opened it up again. So the next day, he was himself again, and more willing to listen to reason, but also by that point, as we all heard when all of this got back to Charlotte, Saney had flown out there, and basically the story that we all heard was that it sounded like she more or less walked in there and grabbed him by the ear and fucking let him out with her thumb and fucking finger, cussing at him the whole fucking way.
He had this one great line of dialogue where he confronted M. Harry Smilac, and he says, "Your name Smilac?" Because he could barely speak English, it seemed like.
That sounds like it. Well, it could be a little dramatic license. He wasn't usually that gruff. He's a very, very calm fellow, except when adding alcohol.
Well, this film was the career highlight of T-Joe Khan, that's for sure.
Whatever happened to T-Joe Khan?
Well, he left the NWA to join the House of Guleen, where Mark Guleen famously introduced him, and he ran out of a lake on a freezing day and ran away. And then, I think he did a little bit in the AWA maybe in their dying days in Vegas, and then he was just gone. And I think
went back to Minnesota.
I think he died a few years ago, but he had that look.
No.
He was one of the early Road Warrior clones.
He was more of he was an El Mongol clone with a good body.
He had the face paint, he had the haircut.
Oh, well, now remember T-Joe, when he started, he didn't have the face paint because he was more Mongolian, hence T-Joe Khan. And then they started gimmicking him all up because they couldn't figure out exactly how to apply everything.
T-Joe Khan. We have different Khans now in wrestling.
All right, well,